Uh,
Um,
you have any advice for people who want to start a wash dry fold, how you can kind of get employees on board or how to incentivize employees? Somebody had asked that question. I thought that was a good question.
yeah, I think there's typically two parts to that. One of them is a wash dry fold in a sense of a drop off service.
Mhm.
Um, and in that case, you're usually talking about an attendant, who also has other responsibilities. And in my case, we run a drop off laundry service in our stores, and it's very profitable and does very well. But make no mistake, my attendants know that their primary responsibility is cleanliness and customer service for self serve customers first. But drop off service is certainly important. Um, so I think that's more of like an employment question as far as hiring quality people and retaining them, and building proper bonus structures to incentivize them in the right way. But balancing their compensation schedule in a way where they understand where their priorities are, for sure. When it comes to like scaling more of a high volume drop off service or pickup and delivery or something like that, now you're talking of more of what I refer to as a laundry processor versus a store attendant, meaning that their only responsibility is doing laundry. They don't
Mhm.
do customer service. They don't, in our case, I mean, they work third shift. The store's closed. They're not cleaning. You have to motivate them, incentivize them in a little bit different way because you're motivating them to do one thing, and that is, well, two things with one product, which is quality control and speed. And those are the two things that your motivating factors. So your compensation schedule should be set up in the same way. And then the last thing I'll say about that is the training has to correlate with that. So you can't, I worked in corporate America for 17 years, and I can't tell you how many hundreds of times I said, you tell me one thing, meaning the corporation, you tell me
Mhm.
one thing, but then you do something different. Like your actions don't suggest what your words are telling me. And for
Mhm.
example, I was at a sales job one time that they wanted to, or I was in a customer service job that they were masking as a sales job. And they said, oh, customer service is the most important thing. But 50% of your pay is based on your revenue sales. And by the way, if your customer service score is good, but you don't meet your sales metrics, you'll lose your job. And so I went, well, what happens if the other's true? What if my customer service is terrible, but I meet my sales quota? Will I lose my job? No.
Right. It's
Okay.
just a sales job.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, right. So I mean, just let's just call it what it is. And so I think that also happens a lot in small business unintentionally. Um, is that we say one thing, but our business structure is set up in a different way.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome advice. Hey, somebody wants to know when you're doing part three of your payment system video. What's up, man?
Yeah,
Are
I
you
saw
on
that. I actually,
schedule?
yeah, I meant to get that. Yeah, I appreciate you asking that. Yeah, the delay on that is part three of the payment system. I have some video coming from someone that is going to help me out because I don't have that type of payment system. And so when someone's doing you a favor, you got to kind of wait on them and not pressure them,
We need to
if
put
that
them
makes
on
sense.
blast. I'll pressure them for you.
No, I would
Oh,
never
we're
do that.
waiting on your content, man.
But one of the things a lot of, and I appreciate that, and I definitely want to get it out. But one of the things I'll tell you is I'm not a, when you have a YouTube channel, stuff like that, I'm not a big fan of like just going into random stores and starting the video. I just don't think it's cool, and I wouldn't want
Yeah.
people to do it in my store, even if you are just recording the payment system. There's no harm. I just wouldn't do that. And so I don't have a store with a loyalty card system. And so I have to rely on someone else. So if somebody wants to send me some video on that, reach out to me because I'm happy to do that. But the other thing I'll say is he says or I'm not sure if it's he or she. They say I'm going to put in a card system and would love to hear your review on them. So the other thing I'll tell you is I think maybe your expectation is a little different because I'm not going to review specific products. So if that's what you're waiting on, you're gonna be disappointed anyways. I'm not going to review like all the different payment systems. That's really not, or let me rephrase that. The payment product, as far as like this company versus this company, my my series on payment system is really based on the different types of payment systems, not the different brands, if that makes sense.